Oh. Okay, can you hear me now? Except I don't want to be on this screen. Okay, can you hear me now? We're actually. Yeah, no, that's not the way to do it. Okay. Can you still hear me before I set the phone down? Mic is muted. It won't let me go past a certain point on the in-call volume, and I'm not sure why that has any effect on it. Is that better with the echo? Or can you not hear me at all now? Because I don't look like I'm... Okay, good deal. So how are you doing today? I was going to say, and if there's comments on StreamYard, I'm just going to go with StreamYard because it's easier than trying to watch a second phone. I'm wanting to type, though. That's very strange to me. Awesome. I was going to say, so in case you couldn't tell by the thumbnail, I hit 100. I actually hit 100 both of the last 2 days. Yeah, I got up to 103, and then I woke up the next morning and I was back down to 99. And then yesterday I was back up to 103. I think I'm at 106 now. So anyway, I had made this arbitrary thing. I don't know, probably 2.5 weeks ago that I was going to wait until 100 to do lives. The funny thing about that is that I thought that would take me months to get to, and it didn't. I jumped like 25 the next day in one of Van Life with Gina's posts or lives, and yeah. Outside of Boston, Massachusetts. Did the hurricane hit you too bad? Or had it kind of dwindled out by then? Hopefully my geography is not failing me. I'm in northern Indiana. I'm actually in Elkhart County, which is known for its RVs and manufacturing. So, like any of the haulers that you see, a lot of times if they say they're going to Indiana to pick up units, they're coming here. Oh, wow, 2 blocks from the ocean? That would be cool. I would think I would like to, just having that white noise in the background, because I'm sure you can still hear it from there. I would like that. I sleep really well with rain, but I'm not anywhere close to water. Hi, Patty. How's it going? I'm excited, you guys. Okay, sorry. So this is kind of a getting to know each other live, because I feel like all of a sudden I just showed up here. And then a couple weeks later, then I found all these people, and I'm going, oh, okay. I did actually, just on the off chance that nobody showed up, and you guys feel free to ask me anything. If I'm not comfortable answering it, I won't, but Um, Mama Z's always makes me hungry. My first name is Megan. And no H's or extra A's. It's just Megan. I like to keep things simple. This one actually was a little bit planned out. And actually, I'm going to try and share a link with you guys. So Sherry over at Two Family Homestead had a list of people doing lives in the homesteading community. And in the somewhere I kind of wound up in the van life full-time RV community as well. That would be awesome, Patty, but I have no idea how to make you a mod, so give me 2 seconds. I know they said last night I had to do that on Facebook. Not Facebook. Yeah, on Facebook. Yeah, no. On YouTube. I just don't know how to do it, actually. So anywho, Sherry had a list going, and while they were off in Missouri, I wanted to say La La Land, I was looking for some lives, and I was like, okay, this is craziness, because I couldn't find whoever it was I was looking for. And then 3 dots, menu. Live chat, maybe? That only gives me a hold for review option. You guys get to see all the crazy faces I make while I'm trying to figure this stuff out. Do you know where in the... I was going to say, so you weren't on here yet. I'm running 2 phones and a computer to have sound, video, and comments. Although I didn't realize I would be able to see the comments on screen on StreamYard. So, but I have my phone that is also on YouTube as my account. Like I didn't log out or anything. But I can't go live from my phone yet. Or maybe I can do this on another tab. Okay, so anyways, what I was saying, and I can't see your comments right now. So what I was saying on the... so anyway, Sherry had a partial list. And actually, when I started going through it, a lot of the people on it weren't doing lives anymore. But when I wound up in the van life communities, is this considered YouTube TV? Hey, Boondocking with Boomer. All right, so Patty, I'm on I'm in the live chat on both my phone, and then I've got just my regular YouTube channel up on the computer. I am doing great. Hopefully with less technical difficulties than before. I'm trying to add Patty as a mod. But anyway, oh, and it looks like one of my little ones is wanting to come see you guys. He likes giving hugs. Do you want to say hi to them? Or you just want to headbutt me? Hi, Mal! I was going to say, and of course I had a fur baby that decided to come sit in my lap. So anyway, I did start a spreadsheet off of the information in hers so I could add to it and stuff. Bang. Ooh. Thank you. That worked. It was in live chat on the phone. All right, so anyway, so I started this spreadsheet for homesteading channels because there's a channel called Share the Air. It's a Facebook page called Share the Air. It's Lucretia from Burning Up the Road. And they have a list of lives for that community, so this way we can, I was really surprised. We have like homesteading lives that are 3 and 4 deep at some time frames and none at others. I tried to pick one that was going to be after my kids would be off school and not when anybody else was busy. And you're just perfectly contented to sit here on my chest, aren't you? Because you're getting heavy. He is 17 pounds. Yeah, I was really surprised. I found a lot of interesting channels going through her list, but a lot of them have quit doing lives since the thing that shall not be named has been going around the U.S. Oh, flying kite sounds like so much fun. We've got too many overhead lines and trees and not enough space to run with them here. Thank you for stopping by. All right, mister. Okay, just because you have got to go somewhere without claws in my shoulder. Have fun. I was gonna say my kids probably haven't flown a kite since they were your kids' age. But I was gonna say that's one thing I was kind of hoping to do. I have noticed that, Patty, and I've wound up as mods in a couple of chats, and I try, but I'm not great at it yet. I really would like to get as good with links and things as Kathy is too. But she has probably been practicing a whole lot. So maybe someday. Exactly. And that's it's like I didn't want to wait until 1,000 to do a live and then be trying to do all this with a whole lot of people and everything. And, you know, it's one of those. At the same time, I haven't figured out. I know Mel doesn't leave her live streams up. At the same time, I know that a lot of people do, and I'm kind of up in the air on that. She really does need to do a live, or not even a live necessarily, but a video on how to be a mod, because she is awesome at it. I know she does keep like a page for each person's live with common links that she uses. And I think that would be handy. I don't even have a sheet made for myself, honestly. Maybe that's one of those things I'll do in the near future, and that way I can just hand you a thing with links. And I was going to say, I did. Oh, that would make sense. So again, this is the document for it's a Google Sheets is what it is, for the Homesteading Live schedule. I know I don't have Thursday, Friday, and Saturday finished transferring off of Sherry's list, because I was actually trying to go to each channel, make sure they're still doing lives, and that kind of thing before I put them on a live schedule. Sweet. So I wasn't sure if I'd actually have anybody on here. So I figured, worst case scenario, I actually sat down on Pinterest. This is really hard. I keep looking at the camera spot on my computer, and the phone is actually about a foot above it. So I came up with a list of things that I was just going to give people info on. Yeah, the Going Green Mom graphic on the thumbnail, is that what you're talking about? Because there's a funny story behind that. I had to pull it off my blog, which, by the way, is goinggreenmom.club, if anybody wants to go over there. But I don't even think I have it set up that you can like join an email list or anything. I had created that somewhere for that. And then I also have a G that I've been putting in some of my thumbnails. Yeah, the document is actually kind of formatted off of the one that Lucretia did for Share the Air. I think one day I added a column for notes because somebody had one that they only do once a month. And I don't know if you guys do lives or not. Allie, I haven't even seen a video of yours in a while. But how do people decide how often to go live? Because it's like, I like getting to know people and talking and stuff, but I don't want to drive people nuts either. But anyway, so the graphic, I actually, somewhere in here, I completely lost it. I had to pull it off of GoDaddy and the blog page for both of them. Okay, that's why I haven't seen you go live. I have seen a few of your videos. I really liked the program I made that graphic in. I wish I had more options for resizing it at this point. And like the spelled out Going Green Mom is a white background, so I haven't been able to get rid of the white. I'm definitely not doing more than once a week. I forget who it was. Somebody was doing once a month. And I would contemplate doing less than once a week. I actually, so one of the questions and things on I had come up with was, what's your family like? And you met one of my fur babies, who is now sitting on my son's bed. I actually have 2 kids. My son is 16, almost 17, and my daughter is 14, not quite a half yet. And then I have 2 cats. Charlie, you guys met already. Pinga, and he's like 7-ish, I think. That's horrible. I'll have to watch and see in October when Facebook pops up posts about how many years ago to find out how old he is. And then I've got Pinga, who is actually 13. We brought her home right around my daughter's first birthday, if not on my daughter's first birthday. Yes, both teenagers. That sounds about right, Patty, for it being VW Family Farms. You know, the nice thing about teenagers, if I want to go to bed and they want to stay up, I can tell them to fend for themselves on food, and they can just come in here and cook. The Not Your Cat Kitty. Is there a story behind that, Patty? That's interesting. Right before the live, I didn't want to, I was down to about that much in my glass of my smoothie, so I just added milk to it. And now the smoothie is all floated to the top. Boondocking with Boomer, what is your name, if you're still here? I feel weird just calling you Boondocking with Boomer. But otherwise, as far as our family goes, my kids go week on, week off to their dads. He is the neighbor's cat, used to visit me in the garden when our territorial tuxedo cat was alive. When our real cat died, Jackson basically moved in saying, "You are mine." Don't you love how cats do that? We actually had, when my ex and I split up, we had a cat named Loki, and he was a tuxedo. He wound up, he was like the quintessential neighborhood cat. He knew where home was. He would go out at night. He would go visit all the neighbors. He would wait for the bus with the neighbors across the street's grandkids. And then he would come home and he would be indoors all day. And then one day he just disappeared. And then it was about, that would have been fall, I think maybe October. And then and then one day he just disappeared, and about 6 months later, I had a friend that wound up, she was going to have to take Pinga to the pound. Her cat had gotten out and gotten pregnant. An indoor cat. And she was one of the last kittens claimed. So, and it's like, I didn't want to see her go to the pound. So, like, sure, why not? Actually, Pinga was a very good hunter. She's named after the Inuit goddess of the hunt, fertility, and medicine. And I made the mistake of getting her fixed as soon as I could. Which, I mean, I'm fine with getting cats fixed. I'm not sure for her personal development it was great. Because that next summer she brought me over 40 moles. And among the 3 blind mice, various birds and other things. And she's also she's right there if you're sick, curling up next to you, whereas normally she is not a very cuddly kitty. So anyway, other things about me. I am in northern Indiana, Elkhart County. I'm in a trailer park, but I'm not in a city, if that makes any sense. And I know, Patty, you just moved, didn't you? Where did you move to? Other kind of odd facts about me. Signs: I'm an Aries sun, Leo moon, and Taurus rising. And I was also born on the Aries Taurus cusp, so that was interesting that it fell that way. And my favorite number is 27. Oh my. That is a lot of work. My mom's side of the family, we always do estate sales. I was gonna say, I know a lot of people don't, just like being around my I'll get to that in a minute, Boomer. Just being around my kid's dad's family and stuff, apparently not everybody does estate sales or personal property sales. Which I didn't realize people didn't do that, so I'm kind of wondering what they do with stuff. But we always have, and like Dad wanted to move before my mom passed, just because it was getting to be too big. And so they did a personal property auction about 18 months after she passed. That was so much work, and I didn't even live at home at that point. It was just my dad and brother putting it together. They had like a company that came in and did things, but and did the actual sale, but it was a lot of work. With Dad, he had downsized so much before he passed that I think my brother and I spent 4 weekends going through his apartment, and it was done, and we just donated the stuff that didn't make sense to keep or we didn't want and didn't think other family would want. Okay, so why 27? Way back when, and I don't remember much before the age of 13, so I can't even tell you when or where or why or what the book was. Anyway, I was reading a book, and it was in some novel. And something came up about the main character's favorite number being 27, and it was because her mouth made the same shape as when she ate pickles. I do love pickles, although I shouldn't eat them at this point, but I don't seem to react to them as much as I do other things with vinegar in them. And after that, for whatever reason, I just really liked 27. But it's actually anything with 7. So like 7, 17, all of those. Hi, Duncan 1900s. And I'm going to have to watch. Patty, you're really good with names, and I am getting better, but I am not great with them. And a lot of times, since you're tagging channel names, I learned channel names, and I'm not always great with remembering people's real names. Yes, 7 and lots of friends. But yeah, so that's why 27, and it just has kind of stuck. I like odd numbers. I like prime numbers. The interesting thing to that is, as much as I am odd numbers, my daughter is just as much even numbers. Well, and I know Kathy has like a spreadsheet or a list or something. And I think that's one of those things I really kind of need to start, just so I have reference to go back to. Because it would kind of be bad to it would kind of be bad to have the wrong name and be calling somebody the wrong name. And I don't know how to turn that. The phone I'm using for my camera shuts off after 30 minutes, apparently. So do you guys have just random stories about what your favorite numbers are, or is that just something that I am just completely weird on? Okay, so are those numbers like people's birth dates, or just random numbers that you feel lucky with? This was actually a topic I would, and for those of you that don't know, when I am working, I work at a casino. So, thank you, Homestead Aquarius. I was going to say, yeah, I'm seeing a lot of 8s and 1s. Thank you. I think I'm actually up to 106 now. I am not in an RV. Okay, so I was going to say, so we can go down that rabbit hole. So, over the years, I have had a variety of health issues. I was originally diagnosed with Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. And then I got sick while I was pregnant with my daughter and wound up with fibromyalgia out of that. And in the process of going through that, because I started treating that with herbs and supplements pretty quick. But somewhere in there, I started having anxiety issues. And I figured out that I was having issues with too much space. Now, mind you, I live in a trailer, so like my entire house is only like 980 square feet. And like right now, we've got my son's bedroom kind of built into the living room to shrink the living room enough for me to be comfortable being out here in the kitchen and living room area. But in the same sort of time frame I was figuring all that out, I also wound up getting invited to go out to this campground with the secretary that worked in the office at the trailer park. So I went out there and I really enjoyed it. And that was like in the fall of 2011. And then I wound up joining the campground the following year and bought 2 campers that year. One of them was tiny. It was, I think, 17 foot. It had a multitude of issues, the main one being a fleece. The guy that had owned it before me had 3 large dogs, and he lived in it. He upsized his space, but I bombed that thing 2 or 3 times. I tore all the cushions out. There was also a hole in the floor from a chipmunk or something. Anyway, I never actually stayed in that camper. And I was buying it with a friend who then backed out. So, and now, mind you, it was not great shape, but I paid $300 for it. And then I wound up, some friends of mine upgraded their camper. Yeah, it was pretty intense. You couldn't stand to be in there for more than an hour or you'd just be covered with bites. Even after I bombed, I was still getting bit. That's how bad it was. Anyway, so some friends of mine upgraded their camper and sold me theirs at a very, very good price. So now I have my regular trailer that I live in, like mobile home trailer. And then I also have a 1973 Bonanza that is stationary. Okay, so I've been calling you Boomer, so apparently Boomer is not you. Boomer is your dog. I forgot about that. Well, have fun. And hopefully I will see you later. Or next week or whatever. Lance. Okay. Well, nice to meet you, Lance. And I have Charlie back. He is, oddly enough, he does not normally come curl up in my lap or anything while I'm sitting in this location. If I try and lay down, he's of course on top of me. He is very like separation. He has a lot of separation anxiety, is I guess what I'm trying to say. Now, won't this be an interesting way to do a live? The one that is on... Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. But yes, the one that's on my back at the moment, his name is Charlie. Actually, that's his first name. His full name is Charlie Christine Thor, and then our last names. And he's using his nails to get off me. Oh, and you don't get to climb on the stove. That's not a good plan. I was going to say, that's... Ay, ay, ay. He thinks I'm a perch and a ladder. He really does. We joke that he's a parrot because if we haven't been home in a while and we walk in, he will jump from one of the chairs, my son's bed, wherever. He can get a clear path to your shoulders, which when he was little, his favorite, and we really had to train him away from, he would just wrap himself around your neck. Yeah, well. I was going to say, and he'll get turned around so his head's right here, but it's usually not fun for my back in the meantime. He is a neck warmer kitty, and and he's 17 pounds now. So he's more like a smother kitty if he decides he's laying on my neck. Pinga is not that big anymore. She used to be like 16 and a half. And then I switched her food because she was having arthritis issues. And I guess maybe I shouldn't put that there. That's on top of the mic. So I'm not sure how we wound up with the first. So, okay. So it's not necessarily Inuit names. I found that name on a list online. Hang on a second, Aquarius. All right, so Loki, the cat that I had with my ex, showed up on our doorstep one day as a kitten. And somehow he wound up with the name Loki, and I'm not really sure how we came up with that. It very well may have been that Michael wanted to name him that. He very much was a Loki, though. He was definitely mischievous. He turned out to be the neighbor's cat, but they had birds. And so we gave him back, but 2 days later, we got a knock on the door and said he was looking at the bird cage. Do you want him back? And so that's how we got Loki. And then so I have historically worked at the casino for the last couple of years, Homestead Aquarius, and I work in the kitchens, but with the thing that shall not be named, we had to shut down. And I am not back to work yet. So I actually, the last couple of years, I haven't had a garden or anything because I haven't had the energy by the time I got done at work. And I had split days off. I was off Wednesdays and Fridays. So it was one of those things. I was usually trying to recoup so I could even move on Wednesday or get 50 million appointments done and then, play catch up on the other day. So I didn't have time to garden, and I started gardening again this spring. Not that I ever really wanted to let it go. I just didn't have the energy and the time. But anyway, so Loki started the gods and goddesses. And then he requested a name for our son, not expecting me to say okay. Yeah, Coldemort. I like that. So anyway, he requested a name for our son, and I said okay. Like, literally, it was in passing. I was coming in. He was going out to the computer room. He's like, what do you think about this for a name? And I'm just kind of like, Yeah, I can do that. And that was the entire naming process for our son. And except for then it took me 2 days, like literally the entire time I was in the hospital looking for a middle name that fit with it. And that started the gods and goddesses thing. So my daughter is named after a goddess. When we got Pinga, I started looking, because by that point I couldn't just quit. We already had 3. Charlie is not his middle name. One of his middle names is Thor because he was technically my niece's. Her parents got her a kitten 2 weeks before her birthday. No. Got her a kitten, Charlie, for her birthday 2 weeks before they moved. And then they couldn't take the cat with them. So it was one of those, we've asked everybody else, we'll take him to the pound if you say no, but do you want to cat sit for him for a month? And a month turned into 6, and then they decided they didn't want him. So he's still here. Hi there, Deb's Way. I don't know why I'm using full channel names when I'm talking. That sounds really weird. Oh, and Thomas Schmidt Homestead Projects. I'm assuming your name is Thomas? Maybe? And Deb? Can you chime in? And we were just having a discussion that I needed to start a list so I knew who people were. Because I'm used to tagging people, but historically I'm not great with names, and I'm working on getting better at that. I can definitely call you Deb, and that makes it very easy since it's in your name. Unless you do what I was doing for a few minutes earlier and calling Boondocking with Boomer Boomer, and that's his dog. Charlie? You don't get to climb on top of my head. So anyway, we were just kind of trying to get to know each other. Things you've missed about me. My favorite number is 27. Thomas or Tom? Okay. I can handle that. Just not late for dinner. I can get on board with that. Especially if I'm not the one cooking it. So anyway, hi Cam's TV. That is an interesting name. Let's see here. So, you guys know my favorite number. And oh, okay. And so I told you guys I live in a trailer. I do live in a trailer park. Growing up in Tennessee, we lived on 7 acres, which I think is probably where I got my love of the country from. Because once we moved up here, it was like, we moved from 7 acres where you couldn't see the neighbors' houses for the most part to a lake area up here in Indiana where it was literally like 6 feet between houses because it was on the water. We're at in Tennessee. So it's about 30 miles north of Nashville, a place called Bethpage. which was literally like 7 churches, a post office, a print shop, and a gas station. Although you can't forget the petting zoo. We had one of those too. Um, and then we went to school in Gallatin. It's Sumner County, if you have any idea where that is. Okay, so I call where I live a trailer, and I call the camper, which is technically a towable RV, a camper. Must note the petting zoo. It was very interesting. We went to school in Gallatin, and we actually went to school with the kids that lived at the petting zoo for a couple of years. It is spelt wrong, but that's okay. I think the I's an A, but I'm really not positive on that. So we actually went to school with them, and my mom she worked in administration at the church that was attached to the school that I went to for 2 years, and she was also the computer teacher. I guess that's an interesting odd fact. My mom was my first computer teacher in the 1st grade. Back in the 80s. What are you? He's trying to get a piece of popcorn that I apparently dropped the last time I had popcorn. Fun fact about Charlie, he likes to eat crackers. But anyway, so when we were in school with them, we actually had field trips to their house, but they also would take us to school because Mom had to get there early. Because back then, you actually had to set up the computers in the classroom every day and then keep them in a locked cabinet at night. You know, back in the time of Apple IIes. Canned corn. Interesting. He doesn't like anything spicy, so the Taco Bell meat would not go over well. Pinga would probably eat that, though. She likes any meat. Unless it's canned cat food, and then she only wants the 7+ beef. Oh, wow. And it's already 4:56, you guys. Yeah, Charlie does not have a great stomach. Pinga would eat hot dogs, but not Charlie. Well, Charlie might eat them, but he would definitely be puking them up again. For whatever reason, he has, well, and actually, I do know part of the reason. He is sensitive to chicken. And so like when I moved both of them to a grain-free cat food when I went to gluten-free and realized it was helping with arthritis because Pinga is pretty arthritic. And that's when she started dropping weight. But the problem with that is, and now I'm getting glared at because I'm talking about him. The problem with that is And he quit puking. That's when he started gaining weight. She started losing weight. But then when she became diabetic, I had to switch him to wet cat food. Okay, where am I at? All right, guys. So as far as next places, Two Family Homestead is on in a couple of minutes. And I was just looking up where in the RV world things are going. And I don't have a link for that one. But maybe it would help if I was on the right day of the week. And he totally just jumped on the counter behind me. Okay, and it looks like Our Destination Car Life is on for the RV crowd. So thank you guys so much for joining me. I think I'm probably going to do once a week. Okay, I can't just leave you on the counter. I actually cleaned off said counter before the lie. It normally has stuff stacked on it, so it's probably a new place to explore in his mind. But anyways, so thank you guys for stopping by. I think I'm gonna do oh my word, I can't do 8 indoor cats. No. My daughter wants me to be the crazy cat lady, but no. Two is hard to stop from fighting at times. Thank you. Yes, I thought I had a few months before I would be doing this. So I don't know. If you guys want to let me know what you like in lives, I can do kind of a topic thing. Or like I like the educational lives as much or more than the ones where it's just random chit chat. Not that I don't like meeting people or getting to know people, but it seems like if we're focused on a project, maybe it's more productive. You just have all the things. All the things. Apparently there's cat math including in that chicken math, maybe? Is that a thing? Because quite frankly, the only reason we only have 2 cats is because we live in a trailer park and there are rules. And my kids are kind of irritated that I don't get them classified as emotional support animals. Okay, well, I am going to head over to Two Family Homesteads Live. So I will. Glad it's not quite like the chicken math thing. Because once we get out of here and don't have that rule. I was going to say, and Charlie has his ear clipped, but that's because the one guy kind of freaked out. And so he ran away, and yeah, then he wound up getting trapped. See you later, Patty. Thank you for modding for me. And, in all of this, nobody's told me where to end this thing. Okay, there's the end broadcast button. Have a great week, you guys.